Good morning to all. Here today we are going to see the topic is elements of generalized measurement system. Otherwise we call it as the generalized instrumentation system. So what are the various elements in the measurement systems are um, primary sensing element, variable conversion element, variable manipulation element, data transmission element, data processing element, data presentation element. So for any measurement system, so these are the elements should be present in the any measurement system. So let me see one by one. The first one is a primary sensing element. So before that we'll see the block diagram of the measurement system. So here we are giving the input quantity to be measured. That is which quantity we are want to measure is that is given as an input to the primary sensing element. This primary sensing element will senses uh, the particular quantity is present or not. If it is present, it will convert it into one form of energy into another form of energy. This is the main role of this primary sensing element. So this input quantity and primary sensing element combined as a detector tra transducer stage. So the next step will be the output of the primary sensing element will be given to the variable conversion element, and the output of this variable conversion element will be given to the manipulation element. These two elements are combined as a signal conditioning element. So what is the purpose of this variable conversion element means it will convert the input from this primary element will be converted into another form without changing its original information. In the next stage will be data transmission element. So in data transmission element, it just transmit the signal from one end to the another end. And in data storage and playback elements, all the data will be stored and it will be given to the data presentation element. Data presentation element is nothing but it is connected to the real world problems. So in this stage, all the information from the data transmission element will be converted into observer needed quantity. Data will be converted here. So this three elements are called as the intermediate stage. The last two elements, data storage and data presentation element, will be called as a terminating stage. So now we are going to see the each element one by one. The first one will be primary sensing one. As I told earlier, so it is a first element which receives the energy from the measured medium. So from this it produces the output corresponding to the measurement, right? The output will be so your unknown quantity will be measured with the help of transducer. That is what I mentioned this statement. It may be either it will be converted into electrical quantity and variable conversion element. Since from the output of this primary sensing element it will be in electrical form. Sometimes this electrical signal may be not suitable for the next stage of this variable conversion element. So at that purpose, we need to convert that the output of the primary sensing element into that acceptable region, right? So for that purpose only we are reading variable conversion element. So the one thing what we have to keep it in mind is, so while we are converting this input information into another signal, so we need to consider that without changing the information which is contained in the input signal. What does it means that actual original information should not be changed, right? That is a more important one. In some instrument, we don't need the variable conversion element. In some instruments, we need a variable conversion. What does it mean? So all the instruments doesn't need a variable conversion. Few instruments will be requires the variable conversion element. Then variable manipulation element. It is nothing but so we have generated output from the measurement side. We are getting a low value of signal, which is not enough to drive the next stage of this system. So at that time we need to improve that signal. So that is what we called as a variable manipulation. Variable manipulation is nothing but so from the measured input quantity, which is not sufficient to drive the next stage. So at this stage, so we need to improve that signal without affecting the original information. So that the best example is we can say that we can amplify the input signal to the required level. For example, for electronic amplifier, it receives a small input signal, but the next stage we need a more amount of means it will that amplifier produces a more amount of input quantity. So like a variable conversion element, this manipulation element is not necessary for all the instruments, right? Which and also uh, it should be present in the next to the variable conversion element is not necessary. Some cases this variable manipulation will be comes before that of variable conversion element. And next one is a data transmission element. So as the word implies that transmission, it transmits the data from one element to the another element. So let me say that so I am working in one place, but I am having all the instruments in some other place. Means I need to read all the data which is present in that instrument means. So the all the signal in that instrument will be transmitted to the controller area session. That is what here is given in the example here. In this case of spacecraft, the control signals are sent from the control station uh, to the receiver side by using radio signal, right? So these kind of communications we call as a data telemetry elements. So that as we are told earlier that this stage will be we called as a intermediate stage. Next one is a data presentation area. So this is nothing but so we can say that as a observer, sometimes we need information in the form of visualizations. It may be like a chart. Sometimes we need a charts. Sometimes we need a digital type of information, and sometimes we need a analog type of information. That should be done in this data presentation layer. That is what mentioned here. There is a final communicated information of the measured variable to the human observer for monitoring and controlling analysis purpose. So that is what we are doing in this data presentation area. Thank you all.